home crowd, or will Greenville's class and discipline see them to their second straight win? Starting 11s and kickoff next. And kickoff next. One of the league's past champions makes their first trip to one of the new kids on the League One block as Lexington SC hosts Greenville Triumph in just their third ever home match. From Toyota Stadium in Georgetown, Kentucky, this is USL League One Soccer on ESPN+, presented by UKHC. I'm Donnie Barnes. Let's view the updated League One standings. Still very early in the season, but Lexington made history last week. Their first win as a club, they defeated Tormenta 2-1. They want to make it 2 wins in a row now. Greenville off to a very tough start, losing their first 3 by a combined 7-1, but they rebounded in a big way on Wednesday by thumping Central Valley 3-0, and they want to put that bad start firmly behind them tonight. For Lexington, Owen Green put his name in their history book with their first game-winning goal last week. His ability to make these kinds of runs from a fullback position, one of the reasons head coach Sam Stockley recruited him after he was part of Tormenta's championship run last year. And that flexibility and willingness to both defend and attack, something that Lexington preaches. We'll see how he fares on both sides of the ball tonight. Meanwhile, Greenville were in need of a spark on Wednesday, and Lucas Coutinho provided it in a major way. His first goal of the night gave them a much-needed early lead, and that would be the first of 2 goals and an assist on the evening. He would later lay off this great assist to Noah Pilato, who finished really well into the corner. It was 2-0 at the break for Greenville, and then he would round off the win and a fine performance by arrowing this ball into the side netting. 3-0, 2 goals for him, and our player to watch tonight. He was terrific on the defensive side of the ball as well. Greenville consistent contenders since League One began in 2019. Can the Baby Stallions of LSC race to another impressive victory in front of another boisterous home crowd? Or will Greenville's class and discipline see them to their second straight win? Starting 11s and kickoff next.
This is where worry turns into relief, where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up.
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
You don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, orthopedic surgery, and sports medicine, the power of advanced medicine.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
This is where worry turns into relief, where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
There's the procession onto the pitch. Lexington and Greenville getting set for Saturday night soccer at Toyota Stadium here in Georgetown. See the Lexington players applauding the fans. They've had awesome support here at Toyota Stadium over their first couple home matches, and expect more of the same tonight as we took a look at our starting 11s tonight, beginning with the home side Lexington Sporting Club, again in their green kits. And it's an unchanged starting 11 from their first victory as a club last weekend against Tormenta. Nico Brown has been terrific for them on the left side of midfield. He scored his first goal of the season, 4 career goals in USL 1, but an especially big one last week. For Greenville, meanwhile, also an unchanged starting 11 from their win on Wednesday night. John Harkes acknowledged that it's a short turnaround and he'll have to manage legs, but he also doesn't want to change too much after they played so well on Wednesday. Is another makeshift back 4, but it held up really well. Noah Pilato, goals in back-to-back games. Tevin Shaw at right back for a second straight game. Wednesday was the first time he'd ever played right back. They have so many injuries to their back line, they're having to reshuffle that whole thing. But they're hoping for similar results to their game about 72 hours ago. There's the pre-match huddle as Lexington getting themselves set mentally for another big home match as we look at our UK health injury report. Will Bainham's still out for Lexington. He turned his ankle before last weekend's game. They expect him back soon, but not ready to go yet tonight. You see the laundry list of injuries for Greenville. It's been the case for a few weeks now, and it's why they've had to reshuffle their back line so much. And it will be Lexington to get us underway tonight. They're in the dark green. Greenville debuting their new road kits tonight. And we'll see those in just a moment. It's their gray lunar kits. And here we go on a Saturday night. Two sides who both picked up their first win of the year in their last outing and want to build momentum now in 2023. It's Lexington winning an early throw as they attack from right to left here in this first half. Early touch for Tariq Mohammed and put out into touch. Little confusion there. Yeah, it is a throw for Greenville, which they hand back. Not sure if a player was down away from the play, but we go on in our opening minute. Lexington head coach Sam Stockley telling us this week that their performances have been building and building week by week as Kalen Fox, the Kentucky native, plays it forward. Greenville able to deal with that. Sam Stockley exuberant after their first win last week. He's been so positive with this young group, consisting mostly of first and second year professionals. He wants them to be a progressive ball-playing side. He wants them to move the ball between the lines, keep possession, play at a very high tempo, play an exciting style. At times, they've not been able to execute that in the early weeks. He felt that last week was their best so far, not just in terms of the result, but in terms of their play, and their execution of that high-tempo play for most of that match. Greenville will pose a different challenge after they were so good in their discipline and their execution on Wednesday, John Harkes felt. Greenville were set up on Wednesday against Fuego to press from out to in, he told us, to really funnel that ball into the middle of the pitch and win possession there. And they did that time and time again. Really hardly gave Central Valley a sniff until very late in that match. And by that point, it was already over. So John Harkes wants them to maintain that level of focus and discipline tonight. What he acknowledges will be a challenging environment. And of course, we'll see as we go later in this match whether heavy legs and fatigue become an issue. As you see John Harkes there on the touchline for Greenville. And now an early free kick for the home side, which is something John Harkes really wanted to avoid. Another thing he discussed this week was we've got to avoid giving away silly fouls and free kicks in our defensive half, because Lexington can punish you from those. He was really happy that his side didn't give away many fouls on Wednesday, but an early one here, less than 3 minutes in, as Charlie Machel was chopped down from behind. So that free kick, a little over 35 yards out from goal. It's Robertson to swing it in, and it's a good ball, and it's punched away. Jared Mazzola with an early save. The ball might have been headed wide, but he couldn't take that chance. Great reactions. That ball is out for a Lexington throw. Well, there we saw exactly the kind of danger that Lexington can pose from set pieces that John Harkes was talking about. Such a good service from Tate Robertson. He put it right on the head of Cesar Murillo. Made a great run toward that back post area. Swung clear by Noah Pilato. This is a good start for Lexington. Here they come again with Ates Diouf. And he was dispossessed by a couple. Back to Mazzola, who had to get rid of it right away. That's the kind of energy and pressure that Sam Stockley wants his side to exert. Did well there to get to that ball first. Robertson trying to slice it with the outside of his boot into the run of Nico Brown. Just cut out before it could reach him by Tevin Shaw. Again, Tevin Shaw, normally a defensive midfielder, had never played right back until Wednesday. Deputized extremely well. He is at right back again tonight. Really not many other options for John Harkes right now, who only has one defender on his substitute bench tonight. And that one defender who would be available later in the game is Hassan Gabo, who just joined the club recently. He's trained for them for the last 6 or 7 days, but he just finished Ramadan, so of course he's been fasting during the day, and they haven't wanted to throw him in during that time. Finished Ramadan on Friday, so we may well see him later tonight. Just not many options in defense for Greenville right now. First touch for Austin Causey, meanwhile, the fine young 21-year-old goalkeeper for Lexington, who's gotten off to a terrific start this year. He was Akira Fitzgerald's understudy at Richmond previously. Fitzgerald, the veteran, very well-respected keeper for the Kickers, who's also become their goalkeeping coach as he continues to play. And a former teammate of Lexington head coach Sam Stockley. Switched out well to Tariq Mohammed, who's making that run down the left flank. Squibbing it to the top of the box, trying to flick it along was Tate Robertson, and we get a whistle and apparently a free kick. Yeah, it will be a free kick out on that left wing as Tariq Mohammed was chopped down. And so another opportunity with a set piece for Lexington. Looks like it will be, well, Mohammed was standing there, but let's see who takes this. I think Tate Robertson will take it again. Delivered it so well from a central position a few minutes ago. This time from the left, puts it just wide. I'm not sure if he was going for goal, but he wasn't far away. And it's a goal kick. The bright sunshine splashing across the far side of the field, shadows on the near side. Bit of a chillier night in Lexington tonight. Had some light sprinkles move through the area. Temperature down in the upper 50s. Pretty pleasant soccer weather. Players would generally prefer to be slightly on the cool side rather than blazing hot when you're going to be running for 90 minutes. Oh, clever black backheel flick from Coutinho, but offside. That would have been a highlight reel goal if we could have held the line there. Gavilanes played in by Coutinho's backheel, but behind the last defender when it was played. Lucas Coutinho, his best game for Greenville so far on Wednesday in his second season with the club. John Harkes, just as much as his attacking output with the 2 goals and the assist, he was thrilled with his defensive play and how well he worked off the ball. Have to work off the ball here. That's picked off, and now Tevin Shaw completes the clearance, but a dangerous ball. Still rattling around above the area, and Lexington can come again, and it's Robertson. What a sliding block. That's terrific from Tyler Pollock. One of the co-captains for Greenville showing the way with his defensive effort there. Lexington putting Greenville under some early pressure in these opening 10 minutes. Robertson now by the end line. And swinging across. It came off Pollock. Dances across that touch line. It is a throw for Lexington. Wind is blowing from left to right across the field. You can see the flags indicating that, as the flick on was one. Lexington unable to get to the second ball, and now they regroup at midfield. Tariq Mohammed, very involved early on. Again, positional flexibility, such a buzzword for Sam Stockley, and he means it. Recruited lots of players who can play lots of different positions because in their system, they expect to interchange frequently. Down the left side they come. Nico Brown. Brown's cross on the doorstep. Wouldn't sit down for a man in green. Again, that Greenville back line holding together. That came off Mohammed. It'll be a throw for Greenville. 10 minutes in. Good start from the home side, but Greenville holding firm and weathering the storm so far. This was a great ball right in stride to Nico Brown to pull one across the face. Evan Lee was just able to get in the way enough. Now maybe a chance for the first real attack for Greenville of the night. That's snuffed out right away. Mohammed with a neat little spin. It ran away from him slightly, and it's a Greenville throw. Select is the official match ball supplier of USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Lexington with a lot of the possession early on. They're trying those long balls down the left side quite a bit. Tariq Mohammed making run after run from that left back position. Nico Brown, who is the left-sided midfielder, as you see a rainbow appearing in the sky. Both teams will hope that's a good omen for them tonight. But Nico Brown starting on the left side of midfield, Tariq Mohammed at left back. But we've seen Mohammed overlapping past Brown multiple times in these first 12 minutes. And again, that's not surprising. Sam Stockley wants his players to do that often. And Stockley's a former fullback himself, so it's a position he knows really well. Another great ball, this time down the right, and Robertson just wide. He's had a bright start, Tate Robertson. Crowd appreciates the effort. What a good takedown that was. Going for that near post. Classy first touch. Even though this is painted as an American football surface, Sam Stockley has said that this surface plays really well for soccer. They've been very pleased with it. And in fact, the club invested in replacing the surface this year. Of course, they hope to build their own soccer-specific stadium over the long term, but for an American football surface, this one is very good for soccer, and they've enjoyed playing on it. Kalen Fox spreading it well on the right side. Lots of space now for Charlie Machel to progress forward. You can hear Sam Stockley enthused on the touchline. Wonderful. He was very pleased with that ball as they were able to keep possession and keep it moving. Sam Stockley relentlessly positive, both with his team and in his conversations with the media. Has been a very good start from them tonight. Can they make it count now? It's Robertson pulling it back, but again, there's Polak in the way. Tyler Polak has made a great start to this game. Now they look for the counter. If that ball will stay in play, well, it does not. As Gavilanes trying to sprint onto it by the touchline, but just spun a bit too far to the left. Again, Greenville wearing those gray lunar kits tonight. That new away kit this year, paying tribute to the historic Slater Mill located north of downtown Greenville, which NASA charged with developing a heat-resistant fabric that could withstand the stresses of space travel prior to the Apollo 11 mission. More on that in a bit. Here's Leonardo Castro, who's hardly been involved so far, but is on it now. Castro, Noah Pilato, and then a scuffed attempt from Aaron Walker. That's kept from going out of play and kept alive. Devin Boyce. Swung partially away by Tariq Mohammed. Didn't make a clean connection with it. Big bounce off that turf. Second ball dealt with well by the defense. Lexington having to deal with that setting sun as they progress up that right side and they turn it over. Aaron Walker forward for a right-footed strike that rises over the crossbar and through the football goalposts. So a quarter of an hour in, we remain 0-0. That was Devin Boyce lining that up. Had such a sensational season with Union Omaha in 2021 as part of their USL League One title-winning squad. Boyce was with Memphis 901 FC last year. Didn't get to play as much in USL Championship. Signing for John Harkes and Greenville this season. Kalen Fox, Kentucky Player of the Year and Mr. Soccer in the state back in 2012. Returning home to Kentucky this year for new club Lexington. Now cutting inside, Nico Brown. Wanted to line that up, defended well. And that's ambitious and too much on it, but Owen Green appreciates the thought. So again, so far that makeshift back four for Greenville holding a good line. They did really well on that last sequence to prevent Nico Brown from unleashing with his right foot, which you could tell Brown desperately wanted to do. There is Jared Mazzola. He spent the first half of last year at AFC Ann Arbor. Played at Quinnipiac University in college. I'm sure he's thrilled that Quinnipiac's hockey team just claimed their first national title a couple weeks ago. Back to Austin Causey. There's Pila Dlamini, who's generally been in the midfield this year. He's dropping deep right now, playing at the center back position at the moment. Sam Stockley has raved about him. He has helped run the midfield in many of their games this year. Trying to head that around the corner for the run of Nico Brown was Drew Patterson. Nice idea. Talking about that lunar kit honoring historic Slater Mill. That fabric that they developed at that mill north of Greenville found its way onto the spacesuits for the Apollo 11 mission. And it continued to be used in the decades following on spacesuits and spacecraft for the Apollo and shuttle programs. So a big part of South Carolina's history being honored by these away kits this year. Meanwhile, Leonardo Castro hoping to honor that kit by engineering the first goal of the night. Great ball for Boyce, and Boyce across the face, stabbed out by Kalen Fox. First corner of the night coming up for Greenville. Well worked by the Triumph, their best move of the game so far. It was Pilato. That's a great line-splitting ball, and Boyce trying to find the late run into the box. I think that was Coutinho who was looking to be on the end of it. Gavilanes will take this set piece. John Harkes said they've been working with Gavilanes on his deliveries from dead balls this week. He's been a little prone to overshooting his set pieces lately. This one put right on top of goal and snatched cleanly by Causey, who immediately flings it out and hits Nico Brown, who has been mostly on the left but is out on the right currently. They want to be entertainers, Lexington. In the style that they play. They want to play in a way that excites fans. Sam Stockley has said. Fast ball movement, quick tempo. Said even when we're tired, the ball isn't. So we still need to keep it moving quickly, even if our legs are heavy. Again, they should be the fresher of these two teams tonight, especially as this game goes on. Since they last played a week ago, and Greenville played on Wednesday and then had to travel here in between. That's out for a goal kick as we're 20 minutes in at 0-0. Well, Greenville do have subs available tonight. We mentioned just one sub available in defense, and it's a short bench otherwise. Normally on a substitute bench, you have 7 potential substitutes, including a goalkeeper. Well, Greenville, including their backup goalkeeper, have only 6 subs named tonight, so only 5 outfield players available to bring off the bench, which is the maximum you can sub in anyway, but still, you can see how light the squad is in the absence of all these injuries that we listed at the start of the game. That's well played. They can progress here, and what a good ball forward, and Delamini, his first touch let him down. Otherwise, he was in. It would have been such a well-engineered goal if he could have finished it. Looking for the counter the other way, offside, Leonardo Castro. Oh, Pila Delamini, he's been off to such a great start this year. Normally pulling the strings with balls like this. Maybe the ball just held up a little bit and was just behind him. He was trying to drag it through his feet to take it first time. Didn't quite work out, and then the chance was gone. But you see those glimpses from this very young Lexington team of what they want to be and the way they want to play all the time. That's why they're so excited to watch this group develop over the rest of this year and next and beyond. Excellent flick around the corner. Owen Green laying it off to Robertson. His square ball laid back, and Green left-footed. Didn't get all of it. Mazzola sprawls on top. Well, the match-winning goal last week, he was hunting for another, Owen Green. A champion with Tormenta last year. Not sure if Patterson meant to lay it back to him. If he did, it was brilliant. Not the cleanest connection, though, from Green. Midway through the first half. Lexington have done really well. Greenville have shown a couple flashes of danger on the counter. Greenville can be a very effective counter-attacking team. We've seen that plenty of times the last few years, especially away from home. Over the top, excellent header back to his keeper. Tevin Shaw continuing to look right at home at that left back position. You would not know he'd never played there before. The ball falls to Gavilanes, who's able to gather eventually, and then clips one into the box all the way through to Devin Boyce. Boyce across the face, body sprawling, and Austin Causey falls on top of it as Leonardo Castro protests to the referee Alex Beeler that he was grabbed and dragged to the ground. Castro now gesturing at the assistant referee. So Castro hot that there wasn't a penalty awarded there. Christian Little and James Dooling are the assistant referees and lines people today. Jervis Aragana, the fourth official. The center referee, Alex Beeler. Pilot Lamini. back to Austin Causey. Greenville not pressing high early in this game. You certainly can't press high for 90 minutes when you just played on Wednesday and you had to travel in between and you're starting the same 11. But an opportunity here. Ball forced Gavilanes to retreat a bit. Now Walker returns it to Gavilanes. Lexington back in position now. Gavilanes able to keep hold of it. Walker does the same. Surrounded by green shirts, but keeps it well. Greenville trying to build progressively into this game. Tevin Shaw. Done well to ride out these opening 25 minutes, the Triumph. Pilato calmly to Gavilanes. Walker now. Thought about clipping that ball forward before being closed down by Ates Diouf. Here he is again. It's well played to Gavilanes, trying to curl it across. A good one intended for Castro. Excellent defensive header away. Referee sees nothing wrong and play continues. And Castro, Walker got it tied up in his feet. Stabbed away and Lexington can counter. Tate Robertson didn't have a lot of options though, so he slows things up. Kalen Fox finding that seam on the right side. Now here goes Robertson with Pilato to make that pull lock right on him. An errant pullback. And now the counter. It's 1-on-2. It's Castro. Castro up against Cesar Murillo. Tried to dance past him. Goes down. And a free kick awarded and a red card shown. Cesar Murillo is sent off in the 27th minute. And Lexington down to 10. He was judged to be the last defender. Prevented a clear goal-scoring opportunity, according to referee Alex Beeler. And Lexington will have to play the rest of the night down a man. It was tough to see at full speed. It was Castro running right at Murillo, who's definitely the last defender. Didn't appear to get much of the ball, if any. And chopped the man down and has to walk, Alex Beeler says. Well, that, to state the obvious, changes everything. After such a positive start for Lexington, they are now in a tough spot. So Murillo gives up the argument and trudges off. It's a free kick in a pretty promising position for Greenville, meanwhile. It would really be a tough blow for Lexington if Greenville were to follow the red card with a goal from this free kick. It's Coutinho off ahead, and it skims out for a corner. Patterson got the block in, apparently. Well, Lexington will have to dig in now. After they've controlled the majority of the play for the first 20 minutes plus. I figure they're going to have to defend a fair amount over the last hour plus. That's where Greenville are so dangerous on the counter. And all of a sudden they had a 1-on-2 that turned into a 1-on-1. Just like that, the game's complexion changes in an instant. Continue taking this corner. And the referee says, wait, I need to talk. Well, he hadn't even said Alex Beeler's name for the first 25 minutes or so. He'd been able to remain anonymous, which is what referees want to do. Very much at the center of things over the last few. Coutinho takes short. Pollock, confusion there as to who he intended that for, but it falls to Gavilanes, who sprays it across. It was Kalen Fox with the header away. Gavilanes trying to cut it back to the end line, but it ran out. Well, we'll see how Lexington reshuffle themselves formationally and tactically following that sending off. They play in a 4-4-2 generally. One of those 4 backline members sent off. Now, as we've seen in this first half, a lot of times it's looked more like a 3 at the back. Scooped into the box. Boyce looking to be on the end of it, and Causey eventually able to gather. He took a risk there and got away with it. They're still dangerous on the counter themselves, Lexington, with the speed they possess. Lee able to put that out for a throw. So you would figure Lexington are going to sit back and defend a bit more now than they otherwise would be apt to do. And then they'll see if they can use that speed that they all have to spring some dangerous counterattacks when the opportunities present themselves. But they can't lose the ball like that in the middle of the park because they're inviting pressure. And here come the Triumph again, but no free kick this time, as referee Alex Beeler felt that was a fair challenge. And what a great turn, a drop of the shoulder by Patterson, and he forces Lee to come across and put that out for a Lexington throw. Well, those abilities to spring out from attack or from defense into attack will be precious for Lexington the rest of the way now, as that goes out for a corner. Tate Robertson looking to serve one across. It was blocked across the end line. And if those attacking set pieces were going to be important for Lexington at the start of the match, and were going to be important to try to prevent for Greenville, even more so now. You would figure if Lexington are going to find goals and a win tonight against the odds with 10 men, that would probably happen through set pieces like this. Let's go, the linesman saying. That in-swinger delivered well and flicked past the back post and somehow stays out. Wow. Again, such a threat from set pieces, Lexington SC. Kalen Fox got up for it. Excellent delivery. Fox not able to put it on frame, and Nico Brown at the far post not able to redirect it goalward either. Those are the kind of chances they need to capitalize on. Greenville will look to patiently work an opening against these 10 men. Excellent touch. That was so well done by Jonah Bigger, the 18-year-old left back who was up in attack there. Jonah Bigger, another player, has been forced into the starting 11 because of all these injuries, but he has not looked out of place at all, especially on Wednesday and so far tonight. John Hark's talking about how he's been really good with his decision making and in getting rid of the ball quickly. They want him to play the ball one touch, not put himself under too much pressure. They also want him to make sure that he stays very close to Tyler Pollock at that center back spot. Maintain that proper spacing. Collision there along the touchline. Which way is this going? Free kick Lexington. Tariq Mohammed was involved for Lexington. He seemed to have the better of that collision. It was Gavilanes who collided with him and gave away the set piece. Surprised that was given in the direction it was when you see that replay. So another to defend for Greenville, another to deliver. Robertson steps over it, delivered by Mohammed. Back post, wide open there and on frame, but taken by Mazzola. Another warning bell for Greenville, defending those set pieces. They've not been great from those tonight. If they keep giving them away, it's only a matter of time before Lexington bury one. And they give away another here. And it's going to be a yellow card. Coutinho into the book in the 36th. Coutinho still protesting. Couldn't see what the foul was for there on the replay, but early substitution made by Lexington as Frankie Martinez comes on. Tariq Mohammed delivers this ball. This one dealt with pretty simply. Frankie Martinez replaced Tate Robertson, we're told. Not sure if that was for an injury. Robertson had been great so far tonight. Here come the Triumph now. Across the top of the 18-yard box. Pilato almost got to that. Now Boyce looks to serve one up. Back post, it's loose, it's buried. It's Pilato again. His third straight game with a goal. And Greenville cash in against 10 men and take the lead in the 37th minute. Noah Pilato continues his hot streak. Injured for so much of the last couple of years, but when he's healthy, that's what he can do, John Harkes told us this week. He was talking about his goal on Wednesday night, but he has yet another tonight. It wasn't dealt with this time by Lexington. The second ball left invitingly on the doorstep, and Noah Pilato didn't need a second invitation. It was Devin Boyce with the delivery, and it clattered off of Owen Green, the hero last week, and guilty of a mistake there that gifts Greenville the opening goal. Much simpler finish for Pilato than his previous two goals. They're all beautiful as far as he's concerned. And so a tough job gets tougher for Lexington now. Down a man, now down a goal as well. I think if you offered Sam Stockley the opportunity to get to half at 1-0 down right now, he would take it. Give him a chance to reshuffle and regroup his side after a couple of big setbacks in this first half. Work out how they want to attack the rest of this game to try to claw this back somehow. And from Greenville's standpoint, an outstanding opportunity now to make it 2 wins in 3 days and really get their 2023 season going in a meaningful way. After such a difficult start with 3 straight losses, conceding 7 and only scoring 1. This would be a week in which their fortunes turned around dramatically if they could finish this one off. 1-0 up and a man up 40 minutes in. That is an enviable position in which to be. But Lexington will still create things, and that's a ball that's fairly simple for Jared Mazzola in the end. They're certainly not just sitting back inviting pressure, Lexington. They're continuing to come forward. That also means Greenville will continue to have opportunities on the break. Boyce combining with Coutinho. See how good Coutinho is at operating in tight situations. Gavilanes now. Castro. Pilato. Boyce. Boyce back post over the head of Castro. Nodded away. Only as far as Walker. Greenville cranking up that pressure and that possession now. Heavy touch from Coutinho this time, and then he pressures and fouls Tariq Mohammed. And remember, he's on a yellow. That's maybe not the best challenge and not the best foul for Lucas Coutinho. The last thing you want to do is give the referee an opportunity to even things up. You wonder if John Harkes is thinking the same. Harkes is sometimes pretty aggressive about subbing off players who are on a yellow. Many coaches are, of course. Especially in a situation like tonight, where you're in such a good position as long as you keep it 11 on 10. Then again, Lucas Coutinho is one of your most creative attacking players. And had such a sensational game on Wednesday, you'd hate to take him off if you don't have to. So, a dilemma. See what John Harkes decides to do. Frankie Martinez. Tariq Mohammed. Mohammed trying to carve out space for a cross. He does. Back post. Looping high, and another easy take for Mazzola. That ball just slightly too tall. Charlie Machel not able to redirect it in a meaningful way. Lexington certainly creating a lot more down the flanks in the first half tonight than Central Valley were able to against this Greenville side on Wednesday, by far. It's a much different looking game. It's still Greenville in the lead as we approach halftime. It could get better for them as Tevin Shaw has space. Shaw still given room to dribble forward, so he does. They win it back along that touchline. Great work, Shaw and Aaron Walker. And now Gavilanes drops the shoulder. Gavilanes, Castro, it's Gavilanes! Side netting. Claiming a deflection in a corner, and apparently that's the case. It is a corner. Great combination between Gavilanes and Castro there. Greenville knocking on the door for a second before halftime, which even with another half remaining would make it extremely difficult for Lexington to come back. Gavilanes and Coutinho around it, and now Coutinho leaves it. Gavilanes pings the outswinger, chested down by Walker. He has a hit. I think that was wide left of the field goal post. Well, don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club's on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Can Lexington create something before the break? They have numbers here. Greenville leaving themselves exposed at the back and clipped across the face of goal and just put out before it reached the head of Tariq Mohammed. It was Nico Brown progressing down that right side, and a great track back and intervention by Devin Boyce who may have saved a goal there. Brown standing one up to the back post. Look at Devin Boyce making up all that ground. That's terrific. It was not so terrific by Greenville to get caught in transition there in the first place, but though he won't be impressed by that, I think John Harkes will be very pleased with the recovery. Charlie Machel takes. Top of the 6-yard box, flicked away. This will be a throw as we tick towards the 45-minute mark. We're going to have 2 additional minutes added on.
The officials on the field have added 2 minutes of extra time. 2 minutes of extra time will be kept by the officials on the field and will not be on the scoreboard. 2 minutes of extra time.
Can Lexington create one more chance before half here? Is not a foul. Play on. And a free kick given to Greenville. And this is where Greenville, I think, would just like to take the air out of the balloon and get to halftime. Almost got caught on the counter there right before the half, which would have been extremely frustrating from their standpoint. Nico Brown again. Patterson fighting along the touchline, dispossessed. Gavilanes punts it forward. All the way through for Causey with a minute to play in the first half. Lamini handling things calmly. Kalen Fox. At halftime, we'll have highlights from other games over the last couple of days around League One. We'll have highlights and stats from the first half here. What a good ball that is. Patterson down the left. A bit of a hard time bringing it under control. Mohammed. About 15 seconds to go in the half. Chose not to swing a ball into the box. Kalen Fox. Lots of space out there for Nico Brown. Brown running at the back line and surging past, standing up another cross that goes all the way through. Flicked away, and there's the halftime whistle. And so 2 major incidents defining the opening 45 minutes. The 26th minute red card to Cesar Murillo, and then the 36th minute opener scored by Noah Pilato, who tallies for a 3rd consecutive game and gives the Triumph a lead both on the score sheet and a numerical superiority at the break. So with 45 minutes gone and 45 to go, it is Greenville Triumph leading by a 0-0 here in Lexington. The rainbow providing a pretty backdrop. The scoreline pretty for the visitors thus far. Halftime coming up after this when we return to Toyota Stadium.
This is where worry turns into relief, where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up?
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
You don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, orthopedic surgery, and sports medicine, the power of advanced medicine.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
This is where worry turns into relief, where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Halftime in beautiful Lexington, Kentucky, as we begin halftime with a look at what happened around the league the last 2 days. We had 2 games in USL League One last night. Friday night soccer, it began in Knoxville. The defending champion Tormenta taking a 70th minute lead. Look at this from Mateus Cassini. How did he do that? Beating everybody down the pitch and then an impossible angle, and he made it work anyhow, slamming that home and beating the keeper at the near post. Terrific finish. 1-0 Tormenta. And then one Knoxville would be reduced to 10. That collision with the goalkeeper saw a second yellow card shown to Angelo Kelly Rosales. And he was given his marching orders. One Knox would finish the game with 10 men. And as they tried to chase that equalizer with 10, they were caught out by a classic counterattack. Mateus Cassini with the assist this time, teeing up Jackson Curry. A great finish by him. He scored in 3 straight games now, Jackson Curry. A terrific signing and a terrific road victory for the defending champs as they defeat one Knoxville 2-0. From there, we went to North Carolina, where NCFC were looking to finally beat Chattanooga Red Wolves, and after a scoreless near entire first half in the 45th minute, Olex Anderson beating the keeper 5-hole. Always so crucial to score right before the break, and that's exactly what North Carolina FC were able to do. That changed the game permanently, as it turned out. After a penalty was saved right after that, in the second half, NCFC would build on their lead. A long ball forward. Anderson, you thought maybe he'd dink it over the keeper. Nope, sweeps it and cross. Instead, Rafa Menzingen wasn't going to miss from there. Watch this ball. Had to be inch perfect. It was. Rafa Menzingen is red hot. Goals in 3 straight games now for him. They weren't done yet. Neither was Menzingen. Ball forward from Nicholas Holiday. Great flick on. Watch this from Garrett McLaughlin. Chops back onto his left. Another inch-perfect delivery. Rafa Menzingen arriving once again. His second, NCFC's third. 3-0, they defeat Chattanooga. Very impressive 3 points for them. It put them temporarily at the top of the table. They would not stay there, as earlier today, Charlotte would supplant them at the top once again, but still a really impressive performance and start to the season by them. But Charlotte defeating Central Valley Fuego earlier this afternoon. This was the only goal of that game. Terrific delivery by Avion Flanagan. Nick Spielman just had to get a good contact with it, able to flick it toward that far corner and nestle it into that side netting. He was the man of the match, Spielman. He had a goal line clearance earlier in the game that saved the goal and then scored the lone goal of the match. Fuego had some chances. This from Viljan Bijev, the closest they came, hit the inside of the post. Those normally go in, but it's not going in at the moment for Central Valley Fuego, who would also finish the game with 10 men. Adrian Vera taking a second yellow in the 72nd. And so a tough week for Fuego as they lose twice and sink to the bottom of the table. Back with more at halftime after this.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Cross.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up?
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
Good, we're gonna take it
You
up.
don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, Orthopedic Surgery, and Sports Medicine. The power of advanced medicine.
News and notes from around USL League One. Nil Vinyals voted Player of the Month for March. 17 duels won in just 2 matches. That's a lot of duels. Congratulations to Nil Vinyals, the first Player of the Month of this season. Seatbacks installed at Future Legends Sports Complex ahead of the Hailstorm's home debut May 27th. That's such great news. The Hailstorm waiting to get into that new stadium for so long. That's going to be such a big step for that club. And the hunt for the U.S. Open Cup continues. 5 USL League One clubs participating in that next round. Union Omaha gets a shot at another MLS club. They take on St. Louis City after they took out 2 MLS teams last year in their run to the quarterfinal. Richmond gets to face DC United. South Georgia Tormenta heading to Charlotte FC. The Hailstorm take on Colorado Rapids. Lots of opportunities for League One teams to take down MLS opposition and pull some big upsets and generate headlines, which is what you want. Owen Green, the player of the week amongst the Week 5 Team of the Week in League One. He had that winning goal, of course, and the first ever win in club history for Lexington last week. Scores from around the rest of the league. We showed you highlights earlier. Charlotte and Union Omaha playing out a 0-0 draw. Greenville defeating Fuego 3-0. Those 2 games were last Wednesday. And then Friday, Tormenta over 1 Knox. NCFC blanking Chattanooga, and Charlotte with that win over Central Valley Fuego. Next week in League One, Forward Madison facing Charlotte Independence. Greenville will take on NCFC. It'll be Chattanooga home to Lexington, who will go on the road for the first time in a few weeks. Tormenta taking on Richmond in what should be a great one, the defending champions against perennial contenders. Union Omaha home to Northern Colorado. Those 2 teams always have a testy time when they face each other. They don't like each other much. At least that was the case last year. You'd expect it to be no different this season. And Fuego, it's too early to say it's a must-win game, but Fuego really need a result. After a bad week, they'll go back home and face 1 Knoxville. Those are 2 teams searching for points and momentum. Both teams really in need of something there. That'll be fascinating to watch next Sunday. All these games, as always, of course, on ESPN+. Halftime continues. Highlights and stats in the start of your second half. Straight ahead.
This is where worry turns into relief, where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up?
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
Good, we're gonna take it
You
up.
don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, Orthopedic Surgery, and Sports Medicine. The power of advanced medicine.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
This is where worry turns into relief, where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Back in Lexington, halftime winding down. Greenville triumph with that goal lead and up a man as we approach the second half. I'm Donnie Barnes. Let's look at the highlights from our first 45 minutes. as it was a very bright start by the home side. Lexington played really well early on. Tate Robinson, this great delivery that was flicked along and saved by Jarrett Mazzola. Tate Robertson was subbed off later in the half. That shot went wide, but Greenville started to grow more into the match. Devin Boyce pulling it across the face, put out. Owen Green not getting all of that. This was the turning point in the first half, though. A ball through for Leonardo Castro, and the last man back was Cesar Murillo, who took him down and saw a straight red. And so in the 26th minute, Lexington reduced to 10, and that wiped away their bright start and forced them to change things. And Greenville started to exert more pressure, and they broke through in the 37th minute. Devin Boyce put in a good cross, and then a bouncing ball not dealt with by Owen Green and slammed home by Noah Pilato, who scores for a third consecutive game. And that one of the easier finishes he'll have. But you have to get yourself in the right spot and anticipate that fortunate bounce, and that's exactly what he did. 8 shots in the first half for Lexington, 6 for Greenville, but Greenville able to make one of those 6 count. Lexington with over 60% possession, but Greenville had more of it after they went up a man. And the one red card for Lexington. Greenville did not have a red card in that first half. They did have 1 yellow, so it's 11 on 10 for Greenville as we start the second half. They do have Lucas Coutinho on a yellow. Keep that in mind. And we wondered if John Harkes might think about subbing Coutinho off with that yellow, but again, he's one of your more creative attacking players, so you'd hate to have to do that. I'm sure Coutinho, if he stays out there, will have been told at halftime to be extremely careful with any challenges. And you see him coming back out, so he's certainly going to be out there for at least the first portion of the second half, if not more. Again, Greenville light on their bench because of all their injuries. Just one defender that they could bring on in this match. And one shy in their normal complement of outfield substitutes. So even though they just played on Wednesday night in that 3-0 win against Central Valley Fuego, starting the same 11 tonight, and some options available to change things up for John Harkes, but a lot fewer than he would normally have. So a big second half required, even though they're up a man and are in a strong position. Lexington did still show danger down to 10, and particularly from set pieces in that first half. We'll see if they can create more opportunities in the second to get themselves back in this match. Greenville in those lunar gray kits will attack from right to left in half number 2. Lexington in the dark green from left to right. Alex Beeler gets us back underway. Here we go for the second half, with Greenville looking to salt away a second win in 3 days to get their season back on track. Lexington, who had had back-to-back positive results with a draw and a victory in their last 2, trying to keep that going, but it is an uphill task for them in this second 45. Jared Mazzola had a couple saves to make in that first half. Pumped forward by Tyler Polak, who is immense at the heart of that Greenville back line in the first 45. Coutinho well played. Pilato showing his confidence. Jonah Bigger living up to his name at left back so far. Again, Lexington, who generally want to boss the game and command possession, command the ball, especially at home, not going to be able to do as much of that down a man. Hinged forward, great ball. Boyce toward the top of the box. Coutinho, and, well, it falls back to Coutinho. First attempt is blocked. There was no second. Boy, Coutinho and Pilato got in each other's way. I think either one would have had a dangerous shooting chance from inside the 18, but neither could shoot initially, and then it fell back to Coutinho, who had a man in green in the way. Here's Drew Patterson making his way through the lines. It is a breezy night in the Lexington area. You can hear that wind whipping around. It's been blowing across the field from the near to the far side. Some space in the middle. Nico Brown had a bright first half. Slicing ball, interesting idea, but Drew Patterson, no chance to get on the end of it. Let's see that Greenville opportunity a moment ago. They got themselves in a really good position. Again, it came from a Devin Boyce cross. Pilato wanted to stride onto that ball and hit it first time, but I think Coutinho did as well, and they didn't see each other. Has to go down as a missed opportunity for Greenville, even though it won't count as an official shot. It's pumped forward. They want a foul here, and I think they're going to get one. And a yellow card has been shown to Tyler Pollock, Greenville's center back. So Pollock and Coutinho now on yellows for the Triumph. Here's Tyler Pollock, such a key member of this Greenville team. Guy that I'm sure John Harkes trusts to play on a yellow, especially as a center back. You don't change out your center back mid-game unless you absolutely have to, generally. Kalen Fox loves to make those runs forward. Owen Green keeps it moving for Brown, trying to get to that ball by the end line, but Will shielded off it. And a goal kick for Jared Mazzola. A lot of game time left tonight, of course, but it's starting to look like the Greenville we've known from the last several years. Between Wednesday night's performance and so far tonight, I'm sure John Harkes will feel the first 50 minutes tonight have been far from perfect, but it's been a very strong road performance to this point. The kind that we've seen many times from Greenville since 2019. Able to absorb and deflect pressure when they've needed to. Opportunistic and pouncing on a mistake when it was presented to them. And creating some decent stuff in between. Walker. Gavilanes. Trying to thread it through for Gavilanes was Noah Pilato, not quite. 5 minutes into the second half. Jonah Bigger, confident stepping up and keeping that ball moving from the left back spot. It was not his best moment. But if you're going to have your left back make a mistake, you want it to be on a throw-in in the attacking half. Another good crowd in Lexington. They've had excellent crowds their first 3 home games now as Coutinho tries to thread in Leonardo Castro. Almost. So you can see that Lexington are playing 3 at the back now out of their normal 4-4-2 with Cesar Murillo sent off in the first half. Murillo, one of their starting center backs, so a sending off that hurts maybe even more so than a normal one would. And don't forget how that goal happened for Greenville on a ball in that wasn't dealt with first time, put to a spot where Cesar Murillo would generally be defending. Murillo had still been on the pitch, you suspect that cross would have been dealt with without too much incident. And it probably would be 0-0. Goals change games and red cards certainly change games. And that red card did so in multiple ways, but Certainly not over for Lexington as they go on the attack. Charlie Machel. And now Drew Patterson. Being harassed and harangued. Keeping possession and pulling it back for Kalen Fox. Fox trying to split the seam, but stepping up was Pollock. And now Greenville can get out and run. It's Boyce having to chop it back. Great ball though. Castro. Castro trying to center it for Coutinho. It's an interesting back heel by Pila Dlamini. Dlamini plays with plenty of confidence. It's a general style, Lexington, that's very physically demanding, Sam Stockley has said. The players enjoy it. And they're enjoying it more and more as they learn it more and more. They're continuing to play even down a man. Into the box it goes, and out comes Mazzola. Tariq Mohammed is motored up and down that left side throughout. Rio red carded in the 27th, Pilato scoring in the 37th. That's the story of the match so far.
Nobody's going to challenge, he's just walking all the way up.
Earlier today, Charlotte Independence defeating Central Valley Fuego 1-0. As Tevin Shaw wins that duel, player stays down behind the play. Shaw goes forward. Walker stabs it through for Gavilanes. Gavilanes tries to hook it to the back post. Comes all the way to Devin Boyce. Boyce swings it back in. And headed toward the top of the box. Flicked away by Dlamini. Tevin Shaw after it. Patterson to Mohammed. Tariq Mohammed, surrounded by gray jerseys, wins a free kick. And the crowd wants a yellow, and so do the Lexington players, saying, hey, we were out on a break. I think Alex Beeler saying, no way. You could read his lips there. It is a foul. That one lofted too far for Charlie Machel and a goal kick. Well, Paco Craig leads Miami FC into Kentucky to face Josh Winder and the reigning Eastern Conference winners Louisville City FC. Don't miss the start of the new season of the USL on ESPN Saturday, May 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. What a long ball that is into the stride of Alan Gavilanes.
Oh dear.
Gavilanes held up well. And now it's Walker looking to dance his way through, claiming he was impeded. Multiple Greenville players appealing for a penalty, not given. And Lexington the other way. That ball was still in play, and Nico Brown was hauled down. Jonah Bigger in the vicinity. It is a free kick. Jonah Bigger playing on an academy contract. Clips Nico Brown's heels. Jonah Bigger, a verbal commit to the University of South Carolina. And he is going to earn a yellow card here, it appears. John Harkes. It is Harkes who's shown the yellow. Beeler showing Harks the caution, and Harks looked like he was arguing with Sam Stockley a bit too. So this second half continuing to heat up. Greenville still in a strong position. Lexington trying to ask more questions coming forward. Spinning inside, Ates Diouf trying to thread in Drew Patterson. Again, two Greenville players on a yellow, Coutinho and Polak. Always the wild card when a team's up a man like the Triumph are. Second yellow to either of those, and suddenly the game changes again. Now this is going to be a yellow for Lexington, and that's Owen Green. He claims he got all ball. Alan Gavilanes begs otherwise. Well, let's look at it again. Owen Green, the first player yellow carded for Lexington today. Well, the crowd just saw the replay on the video board, and you heard their reaction. Sam Stockley was shown a yellow card as well, we're told. So both head coaches have been carded now. John Harks and Sam Stockley on a yellow each. Calm header steered back to his keeper by Owen Green. Again, Green, the first Lexington player shown a yellow card tonight. The only other card they'd been shown was the straight red to Cesar Murillo, just over midway through the first half. Inside it goes, touched along, Patterson onto the end of it. Patterson blocked. Really well worked by Lexington, but again, that Greenville back line making the last-ditch block. Lexington thought they had the throw, but they do not. Well, now the referee's changed his mind and points in their direction. I believe it was Evan Lee with another sliding intervention there to prevent a goal-bound shot. He and Tyler Polak have been outstanding at the heart of that back line tonight. Over an hour gone. Noah Pilato's 37th minute goal continues to separate the sides. Devin Boyce, who assisted that goal, looking for the return ball down the line from Coutinho. Coutinho looked frustrated afterward. This home crowd raising the decibel level, banging their feet on these metal seats, to encourage their team to work their way back into it, even down a man. Sam Stockley has been raving about these home crowds the last couple weeks. He said it's really been noticed in the first couple games. It's intense, you can feel it down on the field. It's so important that they're part of it. They're gonna have a free kick here. Tevin Shaw, guilty of the foul on Tariq Mohammed. And it is a yellow card for Shaw. So half that back line now on a yellow for Greenville. Polak, Shaw, and still Lucas Coutinho. Shaw now goes to ground. And we've talked about it repeatedly. Tevin Shaw playing it right back for just the second time in his career. The first time was Wednesday. Here was the challenge. Muhammad and Shaw running into each other. Apparently Tevin Shaw still feeling the effect of that. Again, Hassan Gabo, the only other defender available for Greenville off the bench tonight. That's it. And Gabo just finished Ramadan on Friday, so he's been fasting for the last month during the daytime hours, of course. So they've been reluctant to throw him in, even though he's been training with the team for a little bit. They may have to throw him in for the last however many minutes tonight if Tevin Shaw couldn't continue.
He's the near sideline.
Stretching the legs of Tevin Shaw, maybe dealing with some cramp. Awfully demanding to play a position you're not used to twice in 3 days. And this is what you've wondered about. This is what we wondered about and speculated on at the start of the night. How would Greenville hold up over maybe the final half an hour of today's game? Since they're the ones playing twice in 3 days, and Lexington did not play midweek. They last played a week ago, so they've had the full week to recover and prepare for this game, and they didn't have to travel at all since they were at home last weekend as well. Greenville home on Wednesday, won fairly comfortably, but still played 90 minutes, got on a plane or a bus, really. It was a bus ride, to be fair, but those aren't easy either. Still a number of hours sitting on a bus, makes you stiff. Tough to recover and then play another 90 a few days later. Here is a substitution for Greenville, and here is the aforementioned Hassan Gabo, who does come in for Tevin Shaw. And he has to defend this set piece first, and it's put right on top of goal. Mazzola able to punch clear. Lexington trying to keep the pressure on. Greenville, though, trying to break out and streak the other way on the counter. They're running right into a wall. Devin Boyce had that counter snuffed out by Pila Blamini. Lexington progressed down the left. Blamini had the winning assist last week, trying to clip it over the top in a similar fashion here. Greenville able to cut it out. Gavilanes now, and Castro clipped and fouled by Fox. The Greenville bench up and demanding a card, and they're going to get one. Kalen Fox, the latest into the book. So Fox and green for Lexington on yellows now. Polak and Coutinho on the pitch for Greenville on yellows. Kalen Fox not arguing that. Castro staying down a long time as well after that tackle. Greenville does have Jacob Labovitz available off the bench tonight. Labovitz was dealing with a slight hip flexor issue, John Harks told us, but had progressed really well through that. Would be available off the bench tonight. He is among the substitutes. Looks like Castro will carry on for now. Greenville also with Liam McKinnon, Alex Cox Ashwood, and Venton Evans available on the bench currently. And Liam McKinnon is getting ready to check in for Greenville at the next dead ball, we're told. Jonah Bigger. Again, very calm in possession. Give it away then. Owen Green. And now on the charge, Nico Brown. Brown's cross. It's just the one there in dark green. The defenders outnumbering heavily, and they were able to deal with it. Lamini. Line splitting ball. Brown not able to sprint onto the end of it. You can see why Sam Stockley likes Pilot Lamini so much, though. Lamini unafraid to try things, and unafraid to try that killer through ball, whether it's over the top or along the ground. It paid off with their match-winning goal last weekend. Lexington's getting ready to make a change as well. So Kim is about to come on for them. They're also going to send Khalid Balogun into the match. So that'll be an attacking substitution, as you'd expect, as they chase a goal. Coutinho through for Castro. Leonardo Castro. 1-on-2 now, with the defense hustling back. Back to the keeper it goes, and Austin Causey able to boot it clear. I think Owen Green was expecting Causey to come off his line a little sooner there. Able to usher it back to him eventually. Fascinating game. As long as it stays 1-0, John Harkes will still be a little bit concerned, even though his team's played very well tonight. With that fatigue factor creeping up more and more, perhaps. I expect Greenville to take their time on any free kicks and throw-ins and set pieces. They'll want to slow the game down as much as they can over these final 20 minutes, and understandably. Some of those legs probably get heavier. Sounds like Lexington might be getting a triple change ready, in fact. This is Green. It stays in play. Nico Brown. Stand and the camera shaking as fans stop their feet again, but it's turned over to Coutinho. Not a lot going forward this time for Greenville. Here come those changes, and it is indeed a triple change. Well, Sam Stockley's going for it here. The veteran Don Smart, the former Greenville Triumph player, of course. He comes in for Drew Patterson. Charlie Machel is replaced by So Kim. And Balogun is on with Atez Diouf off. So Smart, Kim, and Balogun on for Machel, Patterson, and Diouf. Don Smart, part of 3 expansion clubs over the last decade in USL. He was the first player signed by Indy 11 nearly a decade ago, or one of the first anyway. He was, I believe, the first player signed by Forward Madison in 2018. And one of the first signees for Lexington this year. Khalid Balogun has scored for Lexington already this year. He's a dangerous player, All-American twice at St. Mary's. So Kim played collegiately at Duke and UC Santa Barbara. Those are 2 really good programs, also with Oakland roots. Played in USL League Two, the Maltese Premier League. He's been well-traveled already in his young career. So those 3 on to try to make an impact over the last 20 minutes. off his line. Austin Causey almost ran himself into trouble there. Flicked along in the first touch for Khalid Balagoon, and he's able to turn and sprint. And it rolls out for a throw. Here's Don Smart now. That's a nice first ball from him. Smart spent the last couple seasons in Greenville. Greenville are about to sub in Liam McKinnon for Jonah Bigger. Another intervention, meanwhile, from Polak. The attack continues for Lexington, and Green across the face of goal, flicked away. Hassan Gabo with his first clearance of the night. There is McKinnon getting set to come on, and that substitution will be made now. So a change at left back, 18-year-old Jonah Bigger, another fine performance from him as he continues to impress after being pressed into action at that left back spot. Liam McKinnon, who's listed as a forward, he's from Switzerland, played at Villanova where he was 3-time All-Big East. Drafted by Nashville SC in the 3rd round of the Super Draft this year. This is his first pro contract, so he's inserted into the game to try to protect or maybe help expand on this 1-0 lead. Kalen Fox. Brown looking to turn and charge. Into a tussle with Gavilanes. Now Fox. If they could salvage a draw from this position, it would be an outstanding result for Lexington. We'll have a throw here. Sam Stockley helping his side get on with it quickly. Fox leaves it to Green. Approaching the final 15 of the 90. See Kalen Fox pushing high on that right side. Great switch out to the left, meanwhile, that was missed by Tariq Mohammed, and he was frustrated with himself. He would have been in a promising position there if he could have taken it down off the chest. Very cliche to talk about character and guts and fight. But this is one of those spots for Greenville now. Even though they're up a man, you'd have to think there are a lot of tired legs out there. A lot of players who have played a lot over the last 3 days. Trying to win twice in 3 days, which would really inject a lot of life into their season, which is still very young and will probably be fine whether they finish this win or not. But here's Brown, though. Nico Brown dancing. Brown with his left. Scuffed it. And it's an easy save for Mazzola. Brown showing his danger. He's electric. He's quick. He's tricky with his feet. The one thing they're looking for him to add to and improve on in his game is end products, Sam Stockley said. Scored a goal last week, a tap in on the doorstep, but they all count, and he was in the right place to score that tap in. That's turned over to Balagoon, and he stabs it through for the run of So-So Kim, but a sliding tackle. Devin Boyce has been outstanding tracking back tonight as the crowd ratchets up the noise some more. Let's go Lex, the chant. But Devin Boyce assisting what right now is the match-winning goal. That 37th minute tally by Noah Pilato as you see Coutinho cramping up behind the play. Boyce has tracked back and made some really crucial tackles and interceptions in the defensive third. Into the box goes the throw. Flicked up into the air. Balagoon wins the initial header. Now Smart and Fox and Green Can Green deliver across? Pulls it back for Brown instead. Kalen Fox. He's been given all kinds of space. Greenville inviting him to try to cross this ball. Around the corner it goes. Green is onside. Owen Green pulls it back low. Skidding off the turf. Fox with a sliding challenge. Wins it back. Brown's cross. Not able to connect with anybody in Green. Taken in by Mohammed. Smart shields it and keeps possession. Pressure starting to build now for Lexington as they continue to play down a man but chase that equalizing goal. It's Fox. Continuing to make his way forward on the right. Still Kalen Fox. Fox pulls it across and misses wide left. Well, they keep giving him space. They keep inviting him to come forward, Greenville. And so Kalen Fox finally said, fine. But Greenville obviously would rather have Kalen Fox taking that shot than Lexington's forwards. Fox did score an excellent goal for FC Tucson last year. He's certainly not incapable of scoring, but that's not the biggest part of his game, of course, as a defender. Lexington increasingly monopolizing the possession, and Coutinho going down again for Greenville. Lexington not in any mind to put the ball out, but now the referee stops play, and that'll really annoy the home side. Why are you stopping play, Kalen Fox saying? It's not a head injury. You're not obligated to stop play. Just because he's cramping or is tired, Kalen Fox is irate, and he's got to be careful because he's on a yellow, remember. Well, this is great for Greenville. Stops play, halts all that momentum that Lexington had been building up over the last several minutes. And this is exactly what they need. Well, Coutinho really struggling with those cramps. He had him several minutes ago, and we'll see if John Harkes tries to keep him out there for these final 10 minutes plus. Kalen Fox trying to rev up his players again to resume where they left off. They're going to make another change here. Jalen James comes on, replacing Pila Dlamini. Jalen James named a top 20 prospect in USL League Two last season when he played with Tormenta's League Two side. Campbell University alum. Greenville making a double change as well. Alex Cox Ashwood. He's on for Alan Gavilanes. Venton Evans has also come in for Lucas Coutinho. So Coutinho's night is done. Lexington continue to search for that leveling goal. So Kim. Nico Brown. Venton Evans, his first touch. It's right into the middle of the pitch. Radon Smart intercepts. Not his best ball, though. And now a foot race. Leonardo Castro 1-on-2 with players joining. The overlapping run is from Alex Cox Ashwood just on the pitch. And Cox Ashwood dispossessed subsequently. He had Liam McKinnon making a streaking run down the left side. You saw Kim waving his arms, wanting that ball switched out to him. It never came, though. 7.5 minutes of the 90 remaining. You would think we'd have a fair amount of added time as well. Had some stoppages in this second half. Let's go Lex chant, getting louder. Lexington have not really created a clear-cut chance, though, in this second half. A few half opportunities. Nothing that's really tested Jared Mazzola too much. Greenville sitting back, content to soak up this pressure. Try to spring out on the counter when they can. Great possession by Brown. Into the middle it goes. Back post. Arriving was Balogun. Flicked away from him. Mohammed flicks it up in the air. Well, he got fallen on, looking for a penalty. Call goes the other direction. Lexington incensed again. And Noah Pollock. Nope. Who is that down for Greenville? That is Evan Lee, grabbing at his back. And Aaron Walker down as well. See, Walker's wearing the captain's armband at the moment. Going to be a tired group, as well, that was why Evan Lee was still feeling that, clattered into by Balogun. Lexington wanted a penalty there as Alex Cox-Ashwood almost climbed on the back of Tariq Mohammed, but not enough in it to point to the spot from the perspective of referee Alex Beeler. Leonardo Castro trying to keep hold of it, and he does. And taken off the toes of Liam McKinnon. What can Lexington create from this? Into the middle it goes. Gabo able to swing it clear just enough. And then booted further away by Pilato. Man down for Lexington now. Play stopped again. And that's Mohammed who's on the ground. Been an increasingly bruising game as it's gone along. You see how eager players are to grab a drink whenever they get the opportunity. I do wonder how much stoppage time is going to be added at the end of the second half. You would continue to think it's going to be a substantial number. Evan Lee is down again. Still feeling that lower back. Well, he and Tariq Mohammed both back up. Both saying they're okay to continue. It is an impressive atmosphere that they generate here in Lexington. Just their third ever home match. Hoping their side can pull out a late equalizer and snatch a point after they've been playing down a man for over an hour now. Noah Pilato's 37th minute goal, still the lone one tonight. Greenville would be just fine with it staying that way. So Kim. Nico Brown tripped, fouled, free kick. He gets on with it quickly. Brown again. Trying to turn inside Jalen James. Now Brown back to goal. Heavy first touch, and he commits the foul. on Noah Pilato. That's the thing, kind of thing you have to avoid if you're Lexington in this spot. Greenville very savvy. They'll take any foul they can get, as would any visiting team in this situation. Playing for a second time in 3 days, trying to dig in for a second straight win. You're so desperate to get over that line, melt the rest of that clock, see out the rest of this game, make it a happy trip back to Greenville. Well, a loose touch there, but out quickly, Austin Causey. Kalen Fox on the charge again. Able to slide through and win it right back. And here's Brown. Some of those fresh legs for Greenville, able to apply a little bit more pressure on the ball. It's Green. It's Fox. It's still Kalen Fox. Came off him, comes back to him, serves it across the face. Wouldn't fall for Nico Brown, does fall for So-So Kim. And Kim clips it back post. Balagoon rises. It came off somebody. It's a goal kick. Must have clattered off Balagoon last. Well, So-So Kim, positive play there. Didn't think twice. Just clipped it into a dangerous spot. Was able to create some chaos. It just didn't result in what Lexington were hoping for. And that again was Devin Boyce defending at that back stick. He's not a member of that back line, but he's played like it at times tonight. It's yet another crucial defensive moment from him. We're still awaiting word on how much stoppage time we'll have. They're only 20 seconds away from it. Nico Brown trying to drop the shoulder and get away from Hassan Gabo, who did very well to prevent that. 9 minutes of stoppage time will be added. 9. And that feels about right, honestly. It's been a very choppy second half. And good on the fourth official for reflecting that. And now Nico Brown runs into a player looking for a penalty, nothing given. Home fans up in arms, of course. Get up, says Venton Evans dismissively. Goal kick. If Nico Brown's touch hadn't been so heavy there and the ball weren't so obviously going to go out of play either way, that might have been a much more interesting decision for Alex Beeler to have to make. I don't think he could have given the penalty there under the circumstances. Here's Brown again. Trying to charge right between the lines. Looking for the return ball, it almost arrived. So Kim now goes over. Again, Alex Beeler uninterested. Balagoon. We play on, and a throw. They certainly put pressure on the referee, this home crowd in Lexington. That's what you want, of course. It's great. Alex Beeler has been unaffected by that. That's not the best ball, and it's an easy goal kick. Still about 7.5 minutes of the 9 additional remaining. And this is where Jared Mazzola is happy to spin a second ball onto the pitch and say, oh, my fault. Was there a ball there already? Okay. Is there one more big chance in this match tonight? Hassan Gabo, Nico Brown wins it from him. Here is Nico Brown. Smart trying to serve it for So-So Kim. It's overhit again. Kim trying to get on the end of it. Did that run out of play? Apparently not. We go on. Stabbed in by player from that left side, but flicked away, and here goes Venton Evans on the charge. But tracked down by Balagoon, who wins it back for Green. And Green stands it up, but flying out is Mazzola. Great take. Greenville creep closer to the finish line in Lexington. They've been up a man since the 27th minute, Greenville. They've been up a goal since the 37th. Leonardo Castro able to keep hold of it, trying the spinning back heel. And now Castro has it back. It's Leo Castro, and there's the killer second goal. Leo Castro calls game. What a finish, what a moment, what a performance by Greenville Triumph on the road. It's going to be 2 wins in 3 days. Guts, grit, and goals. 2-0 to the Triumph. Well, it started with that audacious spinning back heel. Then he gets fortunate, but doesn't he make the most of that fortune? What a finish. It's cliche to say Austin Causey had no chance. It's also absolutely true in this case. He's not had much to work with tonight, Leonardo Castro. Good strikers don't need much sometimes. A 94th minute tally puts this one to bed in Lexington. Heavy collision from the restart. Balagoon involved with Gabo. Opposing number 14's Balagoon. See what a strong frame he has. And Gabo feeling that. Hassan Gabo playing on his first professional contract. He was trained by former Triumph players Omar and Abdi Mohammed at their academy in Somalia. Gabo is from Mogadishu. Here's Balagoon. Another throw. 3.5 minutes of the 9 remaining. Gabo allowed to come back onto the pitch. Green launches the long throw toward Balagoon. Gabo defends. It will be a corner. Well, if they could score something here, could set up an interesting last few minutes still. Game appears gone for Lexington, but you never know. Mohammed, back post. Balagoon got his head to it, but he committed a foul apparently. It's appearing that it's going to be a very happy bus ride back to South Carolina for the Greenville Triumph. I might have more. Castro back on the ball here, held up, claims a foul, gets a foul. Leonardo Castro played 4 seasons with Kaiser Chiefs in South Africa. If you're familiar with their legendary rivalry with Orlando Pirates. So he's been involved in plenty of heated atmospheres. Also played for Mamelodi Sundowns for 4 years. Won the South African Champions title twice, the South African Cup. So a tough crowd in Lexington's not going to faze him, with all due respect. And it certainly didn't faze him in that tremendous goal in the 94th. Final 90 seconds. Down the left side one more time comes Tariq Mohammed, trying to keep that in play by the corner flag. He did somehow. I think he put it off the flag itself. Jalen James, Balagoon. Balagoon just shoving a player over, no call. Fox on the overlap. Kalen Fox, one more time. Tyler Pollock, one more corner for Lexington. Kalen Fox in a hurry to take it. Takes it short to Brown. Brown again aims for Balagoon. Greenville defended Balagoon really well since he came on. You can see Lexington determined to try to find him with that back post clipped ball, but Greenville dealt with every single one. And way out of his goal, Austin Causey trying to score from his own half there and kicking through a player instead. Final seconds now. Brown. Balagoon trying to shield it off. Whacked clear one more time. There's the final whistle. What a victory for the Greenville Triumph. 2 games in 3 days with a long bus trip in between them. John Harkes has to be really proud of his team tonight. They got a stroke of good fortune in the first half, although it was one they made themselves, creating a dangerous counterattack. Cesar Murillo as the last man committing the red card foul, and Greenville taking full advantage from there. It wasn't easy. They had to dig in, especially in the second half. Had to exhaust those reserves of strength and adrenaline and emotion. Lots of tired legs, lots of happy players in that lunar kit for Greenville tonight. The first half goal from Noah Pilato, his 3rd straight game in which he's tallied. The 90+4 goal from Leonardo Castro that was simply sensational with that left foot of his. Greenville Triumph defeating Lexington SC tonight by 2-0. When we come back, highlights and final stats. We wrap it up from Kentucky in a moment.
This is where worry turns into relief, where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up.
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
You don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, orthopedic surgery, and sports medicine, the power of advanced medicine.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Really good game in Lexington tonight, and a great road performance from Greenville Triumph as they dug in and were able to hold off Lexington late in that second half and find that second goal from that guy, Leonardo Castro, after Noah Pilato had given them the lead in the first half. Let's look at our highlights from the 90 minutes tonight. It was an eventful game, spirited, sometimes bad-tempered. Those are the best, though, especially as a neutral. In the first half, this is where the game turned. Lexington had played really well in the first 20 minutes, but Leo Castro sprung on a counter, chopped down by Cesar Murillo, shown a straight red as the last defender. And that just changed the whole complexion of the night for both teams. And 10 minutes later, Greenville would capitalize for the first time, as in the 37th minute, a ball that found its way to the right. It was a great performance tonight by Devin Boyce, and his cross not dealt with at the back stick by Owen Green. left and served on a platter for Noah Pilato. And he slams it home for his third straight game with a goal. And 1-0 Greenville at the break. In the second half, Lexington asked plenty of questions, but Greenville and goalkeeper Jared Mazzola were equal to all of them. Nico Brown was able to work his way to the top of the box here, but not able to get much on that left-footed effort. Lexington showed plenty of spirit. They do have a lot of skill and speed, lacking at times in a bit of end product, and there just wasn't any end product in the end tonight. And then Leonardo Castro took it on himself to put this game away. Look at this left-footed finish, arrowing into the corner beyond the despairing grasp of Austin Causey. It started with that back heel flick, then he got a stroke of fortune that it came back to him, and he doesn't need much additional luck. He makes his own from there. Classy finish, and a clever and veteran and savvy performance by Greenville tonight to nail away their second straight win in 3 days. 2 goals for Greenville as we look at our full match stats. That's the obvious statistic that matters. 11 shots to 9 Lexington technically. The possession 62-38 in favor of Lexington percentage-wise, but Greenville could not possibly care less about that. 4 yellow cards issued to Greenville. And let's remember, they were able to walk that line in the second half. They had a few players on yellows who all played very well after being cautioned. The 2 yellows to Lexington, but most crucially, the red in the first half to Cesar Murillo. It was really critical in the direction and outcome of this match. So Greenville very much back on track now after such an uncharacteristic start to the year. Lexington still plenty of promise. There's going to be a lot more to come from them this season, but it was not their night. We hope you enjoyed the game and the broadcast. For our entire great production crew, I'm Donnie Barnes. Good night from Toyota Stadium in Lexington, Kentucky, where it finished tonight. Greenville Triumph 2, Lexington SC 0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.